Hello guys and gals, me Mutahar, and today I wanted to talk about the right thing. Now ladies and gentlemen, a few days ago, I made a video where I called it YouTube Needs to Remove This Channel, where we covered a channel that was basically talking about some rather risque things, okay? To basically give you the, Y7, the family-friendly version of it. This person made EDP445 look like a level-headed person, so to speak. This person made Ezra Miller look like a normal person. This person was truly on the far unhinged side of the internet. They made some claims that, frankly, would not fly legally in a lot of places. Now, of course, that's all I'm really going to say. When I made this video 7 days ago, to be real with you, up until this point, I'm still having anxiety attacks if I'm actually going to get a policy strike for the actual things that have been stated in this video, despite me constantly denouncing it. This is one of those videos where, like, when you go onto the internet and they're like, hey, YouTube's like, hey, should we monetize the video? I'm just like, oh, no. This is far beyond what is family-friendly for the platform, brand-friendly. Now, the reason I wanted to cover this is because there is good news that has come out of it. In the 7 days since this video has been out, this person, Josiah Mizukami, who is the original channel owner, has actually had their channels legitimately terminated. They have, like, one channel where all of the stuff was posted, all of these, like, episodes, like episode 50, 49, 48, of all these wild takes, wild, like, videos. They've all been removed, okay? They've all been gone. When I made that video, a few hours after it, like, basically a day, the one offending video was removed by YouTube. And then as the days followed, the channel was slowly getting taken down until eventually it was terminated, which means that at this point, this Josiah Mizukami fellow is ban-evading on YouTube. Any further attempts to spread this message on the platform will be met with a sufficient ban, is all I can really just gather from all of it, which is a good thing. Now, to understand going forward in the situation, there was some criticisms that I wanted to address. One of them was people saying, why was I signal boosting a person that at the time had, like, I think maybe 40, less than that, 30-something subscribers, and a few hundred video views. And I think these criticisms are fair to address. I understand when people say, why would you signal boost something, like this that you don't agree with? Nobody was watching this until you stuck your face and signal boosted this platform to hundreds of thousands of people watching. And the reality of it is that I've been on this platform long enough to know that when it comes to moderation and it comes to the right things being done, they will never happen if something is staying in the dark for too long. Look, I've covered tons of wild things on this platform. Crazy cat killers, other entire hubs like Club Penguin, which were used to basically, work against children, so to speak. And these hubs basically are allowed to operate because there's nobody shedding any light into those situations. Usually when the light is shed, like in the case of Club Penguin, sites like Disney got involved to shut down those scenarios, to shut down all of that going forward with whatever power they had. When it comes to that cat killer that I mentioned years ago at this point, who was on TikTok, that person was arrested by the Federal Bureau of Investigation. It actually was something that happened, and whenever these videos get made, I'm not sitting there just making the video and forgetting about it afterwards. Even in that video, I basically shared me writing a letter to my YouTube partner rep at the time, and I was sending it to basically everybody that I could who could actually have the power to take care of it. I believe with sending that video to the partner manager, they were able to get the YouTube moderation team to look into that channel and help remove it. Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, as that channel is removed and everything is done, the good news actually comes from the fact that this person has actually been apparently detained by the Honolulu police. So to understand this person, Josiah Mizukami, who basically made all these wild videos, in the background, there has been like a few updates going on into the situation. In the last few days, this person has come back to the United States. And in that time, the police over there at Honolulu came in and they basically detained this individual. There have not been any charges, anything right now. This person has had their electronics basically, confiscated as part of an investigation. And as far as I also know, being under investigation, you cannot leave the United States if there is an active investigation by law enforcement on you. That also being said, though, the other good news was that this person did also have a child and a significant other that they are actually estranged from. That significant other was making a lot of complaints to basically the CPS and basically law enforcement in general. But effectively, what also happened over here was because of the amount of people that watched that video and the signal boost that had happened, there was a lot more complaints to NCMEC and to law enforcement that eventually, when you have like hundreds, if not thousands of reports, law enforcement is basically forced and compelled to act. And once you have all those reports, it's not like they can sit there and completely ignore all of that. They have to investigate these situations. They looked into it and started taking this case seriously to the point where they launched an investigation. The significant other for this person and their child are currently safe at the moment, completely. And this is the person who also wanted a bit of signal boost so that their case could be taken seriously and their child could be safe. Now, of course, at the end of it, the whole story is far from over, but this is definitely as close as to like any form of a win as you can get. There was genuinely a lot of problems in this entire scenario that were behind the scenes that are finally getting a proper look at by any form of law enforcement or any real authority possible. Look, at the end of the day, signal boosting somebody like this doesn't really mean anything unless there's actually something in the background happening. I totally agree on that. But when it comes to moderation and fixing up this platform, or really anything on the internet, you have to start shedding light on things. Look, when we first got the big adpocalypse on YouTube, where the entire community was effectively demonized in front of mainstream media, it really happened because a few of the mainstream media looked on YouTube, found some really, really risque content that was getting hundreds of views at all, and they basically signal boosted that. They made it look like the entire platform was in support of this kind of stuff. They made it look like to the advertisers and to people in the mainstream that YouTube was facilitating some kind of really fucked up shit, when in reality it wasn't that case. And so when it comes to this kind of content, it really is up to the community to self-police itself to make sure this kind of stuff doesn't go out there. Again, the only reason I made a video on that was because the statements made were so outlandish that it absolutely like gave whiplash to anybody watching it. Anybody reasonable. Dude, you could be unhinged and still feel like that's going too far with what we had come across. But of course, at the end of it, the whole situation sort of died down. It's all over. It's pretty much done. And at the end of the day, you know, if a child is safe from it, and, you know, a significant other in this situation who was making a bunch of, you know, claims to the police, who was finally taken seriously, that's ultimately a net win in this situation. Now, of course, at the end of the day, to finally, you know, seal this all off, this individual should have been investigated from the start. The kinds of claims that they were making and the kind of statements they were going up against absolutely warranted an investigation by some law enforcement agency out there. And I don't know what they're going to find on the electronics. I, at the end of the day, just wanted whatever was involved in this person's life to be completely safe, because what I was hearing was not normal and it was not rational. It was not level-headed thinking. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, the whole situation sort of dialed down. It seems as though that whole thing is done. And also, one thing that I want to go on ahead of before we sort of tie this video off is the idea of like covering this content anytime in the future. This really gave me as much anxiety as when we covered the cat killer lady back during the TikTok days. And the problem is, obviously, I want to come at these things with very good intentions, and I try to censor as many things as I can. But at the end of the day, this kind of stuff is so emotionally driving that the people watching your content really do go out of their way to stick their shoe in a pile of shit, so to speak. And realistically, in these scenarios, it's not about going after the person. That helps nobody, okay? Engaging with a person, chasing after them, and trying to promote vigilantism is not okay, and it's not something that I endorse. When I made that video, people were wondering, Muda, why would you say don't harass this individual? And that's because I genuinely mean it. When you cover these kind of people, you don't promote harassment. Harassment on these individuals and engaging with them gets you nowhere. If you genuinely believe a piece of content on YouTube or any platform that you watch is bad, then you should absolutely report that with the materials that are provided to you by that platform. Let's say that you find animal abuse on YouTube. You should click on the 3 little buttons, report it for animal abuse. That's how it works. The reason why this moderation stuff doesn't happen too much on YouTube is because there's tons of hours of content that gets uploaded, okay? Maybe there's something in a title of a video that sets the moderation bots off. Maybe there's something in like the description that sets the bot off. Sometimes the bot doesn't set itself off. Now, if you make 1,000 something reports, if 1,000 people watch a content and they make genuine reports, again, those 1,000 people have seen actual animal abuse in a video and they've reported a video for animal abuse, and generally their reports are similar. Obviously, the moderation bot's probably going to look into that. Maybe a human being might look into that video and remove it. But if nothing doesn't have light shed onto it, it's probably not going to get reported into the system. Now, of course, going on forward, that's about the best thing you can do. And if you feel like somebody is in danger, whether it be an adult or a child or another human being, you should absolutely make a report to law enforcement or any agency that has jurisdiction over the crime you believe is happening. That's the only way these things get done, okay? The only way this thing happens is if you actually compel law enforcement to do what they're supposed to do. Look, I'm not here trying to sound like a law enforcement simp. Obviously, there's a lot of fuck-ups that go on in the world of law enforcement, but let's say that somebody is out there doing something bad, okay? Like, let's say somebody out there is, like, hurting dogs, okay? Well, all you have, if 5,000 people make complaints after they've witnessed it themselves that this person is committing animal abuse, the law enforcement agencies cannot look away from that willingly. At some point, they are compelled by law to actually investigate and deal with these scenarios. Because let's say that they don't, and this person goes from harming animals to like harming like human beings. Well, then it's on the cops, okay? Because they were told years in advance, months in advance, days in advance. They were given thousands of reports. And at that point, it's pretty much a police problem at that point too. So you understand what I'm trying to go at with over here. It's not really chasing this person and causing hell for them and taking this so emotionally as it is properly reporting it to legal channels, whether that be to YouTube or actual law enforcement, and getting those people to launch an investigation and take this stuff as seriously. Look, I don't know how much of content like this I'll cover in the future. Obviously, if it's as egregious as what we saw, probably. But knowing that all right, I'm dealing with providing millions of viewers something emotionally charged is not something that I completely feel comfortable with either. As much as I like helping people not get scammed, minors not being hurt, everything, I think the emotional toll of like providing people like this kind of emotionally charging material and maybe at some point in a way feeling like I contribute to some level of vigilantism is not okay. As much as I say don't harass, it always still wilds me out that I can't 100% control anybody in this community. But of course, that's just me going off on a side tangent. The law enforcement got involved and definitely dealt with this YouTuber. What comes out of it, maybe I'll update you depending on what happens, you know, how far this goes. But for now, I'm going to table this whole thing and we're going to chalk this off to one weird event on the internet. One event that got looked at, got stamped out, and hopefully will remain stamped out, and nobody else will have to deal with this, or hopefully nobody else close to this situation will ever be harmed. Ladies and gentlemen, this is me, Mudahar, and if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike if you dislike it. I am out.